Hello.
Hello.
So, welcome to the Slisco's Endgame live stream with me, Mod Meadows.
And Mod Raven. Hello.
And Mod Tiny Wolf is running around somewhere.
I'm hoping he doesn't pull the cable.
Shawnee's in the background. He's running around with a penguin. So Shawnee's...
The dog, not Shawnee.
or both, I mean, that kind of works. So, first of all, we're going to just jump in and go straight into Endgame. So, just keep shouting in the Twitch chat if you have anything you want us to do or say.
I'll start with, I mean, there's no point saying, because you already know, but I'll say anyway. There is no point spamming RuneScape in the window. It won't do anything. You're going to anyway, but it won't do anything.
I mean, you can try, but there's not going to be much luck.
Okay. So, here's the endgame replay. So, as is already played, obviously. So these are the options you have. So, first of all, we'll select replace maze with interactions only.
Sorry, can I totally just totally jump in and just ruin your flow? I'm gonna see if we can sort this mic really quickly. Hold on a second.
Sure, you've done something.
I haven't done anything. It's just we've had to change the setup rather drastically, so we're trying to see if I can figure out this crackling. So we'll just go over it and see if we're okay now.
Okay, is that better?
Just keep going.
Yeah. Okay, well, just keep letting us know in the Twitch chat if there's any more issues. Hopefully, this should have fixed it.
So, here we are. This is by selecting this, you've apparently we're good.
Sorry, I was really sorry.
I don't know if you heard that, but Sean was very excited that he managed to solve this. Very happy with himself. What we've done here is we selected the interactions only maze. So this is the story maze, which I refer to as the lore maze, the interaction maze in all my conversation with players because I'm awful, but it is the story maze. Shawnee was doing some sort of mime at me.
Express.
Express.
Oh, I'm expressing.
Enunciate.
I'm enunciating. Okay.
Yes.
So you've chosen the thing. Click out.
Oh, okay.
So select it. Come back to. No.
Oh no.
Oh, you've done a thing.
Oh no, what's happened?
What have you done?
Right,
Right, skip out.
what did we do?
Set var. Endgame. Let's call main 0.
Yep.
Yep. And
Alright.
now talk to her again.
One moment, Raven. I'm gonna try one more thing. We're gonna fix this. Okay, go for it. Raven should be better now.
Oh no, I sent you the wrong number, but I can't remember it off the top of my head.
Okay.
Okay. So I was going to set it up with a specific choice of interactions, but you skipped on ahead, and I can't remember the numbers.
Right, I could do a different tester account.
It's fine.
Okay.
We'll go with interactions. We can always skip through it really quickly and reload it. Okay, so we'll go through it step by step. So, are you going to voice you?
Okay. So I'll be voicing me, and Raven will be voicing majority of everyone else. So, what does this have to do with me? And am I supposed to be involved? Why did Slisco send you?
Right,
So
sorry,
can you hear me?
I'm being a real pain in the backside here. Okay, so can I suggest we're gonna do a on the chain swap. Raven, can we come around to this side?
Yep.
Because I think Meadows, your voice actually comes through okay, but I think Raven, because you're, dare I say, soft-spoken, do a little bit, and see if you can budge up a little closer. And I will totally try and adjust the webcam while up here as we do it. And hopefully, Raven, you should be picking up okay. There's more Tiny Wolf, by the way. Wolf, even. Right, go for it. Sorry, guys. I'm really, really sorry. We've had a real pain with production today. And I'm trying to see what I can do.
Do you want to scoot in? Can you play from there?
Yes, it's fine.
Right, go for
Over
it.
here.
Right. Take 2.
Right, where are we? Oh, how's Romeo's voice? He told me that he couldn't bear to look at your face without punching it again. You really should not anger such a magnificent person, Mod Meadows.
Anger him? After all he's done, I will do more than just anger him.
If you win Slisco's game, then I'm sure you'll get to do whatever you want.
So what now?
Well, my most charming and handsome master believes that you have been a little too little too chummy with all the gods. You can see what I'm like in like videos now. Like there's in all the other outtakes, I'm just like. Oh, hello. Now people tell me to stop. Am I too loud now?
No, no, you're fine. You're good.
Okay.
Cool.
We're all good.
You again.
Where are you?
From the top.
Oh, do I have to keep doing the Relomia voice? He, in his limitless wisdom, says that it's time that you picked a side. He wants you to go and speak to the gods, each of whom is now here on Gillinor. Hello, dog. You're judging me, aren't you, little dog?
Yes,
This dog is giving me these eyes of saying, stop it. Stop it now. Give each of them their invitations and remind them the game is on. You can side with one if you like, or just hand out those leaflets and head on back to me. There you go. Don't go through all the dialogue. I don't want to do Relomia's voice.
Okay. Shall I just declare my allegiance now?
No, you can't do that. So you can say where are the other gods, or you can say I went to one, but you can say whatever you want.
Where are the other gods?
God, you've chosen one with most dialogue. Saradome believes has walled himself up with his knights. Armadil roosts at the top of his tower again. Sarah never leaves her stupid elves, and Zamrak will be gathering up the Black Knights. Oh, your pet dog.
Tiny Wolf. Whee!
Who is not Icthalarin, or is he? Is hanging around death a lot lately. And you're off. Where are you going? Hello.
And she has no idea where Zaros is.
There you go.
Hey, accept quest. Fine, right, whatever. I'll go and talk to the gods and I'll pick a side.
Am I too loud now? Okay, apparently I'm too loud.
The spacebar. Whoever's hammering that spacebar
Oh, sorry,
with all the
that's
force.
me.
Take that spacebar. Yeah,
Okay, I'm just checking whether I'm too loud
Listen,
now.
trust me, we're all good. I promise
Okay,
you.
okay.
We're good.
Very good, hurry along. There you go.
Right. Who
So-
do you want me to go and see first?
It doesn't matter. Pick your fate. Pick whichever god you want to go and see first.
Okay.
Do you remember where they all are?
Yes, I do.
Using JMod powers, oh dear.
JMod powers? What powers?
Good old Saradome.
Greetings, World Guardian. What is this? Sliske wanted you to have this. It's a formal reminder that the game will begin at the eclipse. And he has made you his messenger. I have heard of what he did to you, how he beat you to such add further insult. You must really hate him.
Your dog's eating his bed.
Oh no.
Just warning. He's found some tag or something that he's consumed with great delight.
So, what's he doing?
Yes, I really do. Good. You will need that hatred. I imagine what lies ahead will not be easy. Keep your wits about you. Shall I just say goodbye?
Yeah,
Go
sure.
and see the other gods?
Unless you want to know anything about it. Is there anything anyone wants to know about?
Yeah.
Oh. Shawnee, you've been requested to be a voiceover.
No, I've got to run the stream. I can't do that. I'm sorry.
They've asked for you to be Armadil.
I mean, I'd love to, but I need to the stream is all good. I'm really sorry. We're ruining the flow here. Come
Oh,
on.
sorry, I was
Come on,
reading the
come on,
chat.
come on.
Okay.
Going to see Armadil, and there you go. There's this tower.
There's a suggestion here of someone saying make Mod Wraithen do the maze without a guide. They are aware that I built the maze, so, you know, I know it quite well. I mean, it's been a while, but... are you going to voice Armadil?
I mean,
Do you want
are
to?
we really doing this right now? How long are we expecting the stream to go?
I don't
May
know.
add?
Don't know. Voice Armadil. Go.
How is his voice? I don't know.
How do you think he would sound? I mean, he's a great big bird god. How would you make that sound? And we're all going to judge you now.
Greetings. What is this? Stop laughing.
It's an invite to Sliske's game. He wants you to have it.
Thank you, Mod Meadows. Won't you stay and talk a while? I fear we've not spoken much with one another. You must have questions.
Not really. So, goodbye. And who shall we see next? Shall we go and see Saran?
Okay, we're going to the elves, are we? I will try and get into Zaros' character. Oh, NXT cache loading, lovely.
There you go.
Which one of us is doing Saren?
Alright. Oh, gosh. After all you did. After what you made me do. How
Goddess
can I
of the
trust
Elves,
you?
ladies and gentlemen. You cannot. What you did, what I made you do, it is unforgivable. We are both damned by it. But it was a necessity. The only solution to the damage you had wrought.
She was our mother.
No, she was our creator. I know enough of my study of mortals to see the difference between the two. If they had been your elves, would you have even hesitated?
That's not fair.
Little is. We both know enough to be certain that the universe does not recognize it. Regardless, I come to you not in the hope of reconciliation, for I know that is not possible.
No, it really isn't.
I come in the expectation that you recognize the danger here, that we cannot stand in opposition. I don't know, he's gone very English with that bit there.
It has. The catalyst. It cannot fall into their hands.
No, it would be catastrophic. The damage they could do, it could wake them prematurely.
Perhaps they should. Perhaps this is the way of things. Gillenor's destiny.
You do not believe in destiny any more than I, Seren. You know that events must be guided, orchestrated. Things happen because they are made to happen. Not because the universe has decreed it. Emperor Palpatine there, never mind.
Perhaps. But we should discuss this at a more private time. We appear to have company.
World Guardian, well met. If you are here, it is, I suspect, for her company. I shall leave you two alone. We shall speak again, sister.
Of that you can be certain. Wait, before you go, I need to give you this.
I see. Thank you, World Guardian. I will leave you two alone now. Zaros ever being the reason-driven character, going by pure logic rather than any kind of trying to win her over. He's weighed up the facts, weighed up the numbers, and just going with it.
Should Seren trust Zaros?
No one should trust Zaros. Or should they?
Ooh. I mean, I think she should trust him.
Why do you think that? I'm always intrigued by some of the player love of Zaros because, I mean, let's be honest, he has manipulated you quite a lot all the way through.
It's true. I don't know, there's always been this fascination for Zaros with me. Ever since the original quests, Desert Treasure and then Temple at Siniston, he's always been this in the background growing, and I really liked him for that. Yeah, I think Zaros, while he might be manipulative, I do think that he has good intentions. Maybe they're intentions for himself, but maybe his intentions for him has the whole world will benefit from it, is the way I see it.
Oh, interesting. I'm not going to say which is right, obviously. I know. But,
So, I'm seeing Zaros forever in the chat. So, yeah, she should trust
the other
him.
one, there's the Big Daddy Sliske one. There's the other one people like loving on Sliske, which again I don't get. As Sliske has been even worse to you all the way through.
I mean, I love a bit of Slisko. He's all.
I mean, he's fun to write, but and fun to voice, but yeah, I've never quite understood the desire to serve him blindly, as it were.
It's entertaining, I guess. Of all the things I should do to my brother, trusting him is at the bottom of the pile. Zaros has always had a motive behind everything, and that motive is always what serves Zaros. I have sworn I will not willingly aid him in any of his future schemes. You were there. You know why I can never aid him again.
I've chosen wisely making you be Saren.
I imagine you must be here because of the eclipse. Sliske is gathering all of the gods for his big game, and I rank amongst them. Yeah, so see you, Seren.
Just very quickly whilst we're here, because there are a request in chat. Let's just make life easier.
Oh, okay.
There you go.
Hey.
Done.
Right.
Some people were being driven mad by the little floaty treasure hunter thing.
Who do you want to go to next? You decide.
I normally do Death and Icthalarin last, so
Okay.
Zamorak next.
Alright. I need the device, isn't it?
That's one of them. There's 2 places you can find him. You can find him back in Demonheim, or you can find him in the Black Knight's Fortress. We added him to the Black Knight's Fortress for the pre-release, for players who hadn't done Dishonour Amongst Thieves, so they could go and talk to him and start all that.
Is there any bonus dialogue if you go?
Ooh, interesting point. Someone said, shouldn't Seren speak with a Welsh accent because elves are Welsh? Elves should probably speak with a Welsh accent. Hello, dog. But Seren isn't herself Elvish. The elves existed before Seren. She just sort of she came and adopted them, so they don't. She probably should have a bit of a Welsh twang to her voice, but I can't do a Welsh accent. Can you do a Welsh accent?
Nope.
Nope. So she's not going to have a Welsh accent.
Okay. I've got people requesting the dog. So this is Mod Tinyworth. Okay, maybe not. This is Mod Tinyworth. His real name is Rocco. So if you hear me shouting Rocco, that's him.
Hello.
Do you want me to speak to him here or in the Dishonored?
In the exact same text, so here's fine.
Right.
Am I voicing? Am I being
Zamorak?
Zamorak? Okay. Welcome, Mod Meadows. What brings you to me at this hour?
I have something for you.
Ah, so you are Sliske's errand boy, I see.
It's no big deal.
How the mighty have fallen. You're just going to skip on past that.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
See you, Zamorak.
So, interesting point with Zamorak is Zamorak's one of the ones worth talking to because he foreshadows a bunch of stuff going on.
Shall we
So if
foreshadow
you,
some stuff?
well, if you talk to him, so if you go to where is it? What do you think about?
What do you think about?
I think it is more options. The Dragonkin, for example. So he mentions about what the Dragonkin are hinting at what the Dragonkin are setting up. So if you skip past it. So he tells you to hunt them down, kill them, murder them. So here he's talking about the Dragonkin Demonheim mentioned somewhere. The agents hear whispers. They're planning something to do with the Echoes link, whatever that means, which is a reference to what happens at the end. So, spoiler, I hope everyone's actually seen Endgame or knows it already. But with the Dragonkin, I think a couple of the other gods mentioned, I think Saradomin has a couple of lines about it as well. There's a bunch of foreshadowing all the way through, referencing what they're doing, which is, of course, what the Dragonkin do at the end, is they're using the link they have to Jazz, which is established in One of a Kind. They're using the power of the heart, which is this massive anima thing, and they're using a Elder artifact, which is how they basically channel everything into this massive kaboom. But it's foreshadowed here. There's some references all set up.
Do we know what the Elder Artifact is?
Yes, it's the mirror. The mirror is encountered in... Wait, let me get the right name for it. Heroes Welcome? So I always know it as the internal name, which was
It is
Death of
Heroes
V.
Welcome. It's from Death
But
of V.
yeah, it's an Elder artifact. It was used to kind of copy and duplicate and that kind of thing. So what they've done is they've basically got all the energy, got the link, got this big duplicating thing, and basically just gone and funneled it all using Dragonkin magic as well, because Dragonkin.
Super magic.
We had originally planned to show more of this in the maze itself. We were going to have scenes of like Dragonkin running about, broken bits of wall with things like hacked into them, that kind of thing. But poor old graphics artists were already kind of snowed under, so we didn't.
Cool. Shall we go to someone else now?
Sure. I'm trying to see what they're all pressing V for. F for. Oh, I assume for V.
Yeah.
Right, yes.
F to pay respects.
Yeah. Oh, I got the meme. I just didn't know who it was for.
Oh.
I may be an ancient old fogey, but I know memes, or at least a few of them.
Okay. Who next?
Who've we done? There's only Death and Ixalan left, isn't it?
Is that only? Yeah, I think it is. You're right.
So here's the important question. So because you didn't select a specific interaction order, it will play the interactions out in the order you would encounter them.
Okay.
Admittedly, the lore maze is a different setup to how it normally works. So normally, kind of where it's placed in the maze determines who's there what. So if you're later on, you'll find the sort of winning gods will be further on, whereas the losing gods will be nearer, etc. So, what choices did you make before doing this? So, like the one here, who got the god kill in Nomad Elegy?
Believe it was Ixalan.
Oh, okay, you gave that one to Ixalan. So Ixalan has a... So Death won't be taking part in your adventure.
I don't think he will, no.
Oh, that's a pity. He's one of my favourite interactions. He is an interaction written by Mod Osborne, which is talking about all the gods now they've got mortality, and referencing you can talk and ask how each of the gods is going to die.
Yes.
And it's very cryptic, very vague. Deliberately, so that, spoiler, we can change things if we need to in the story. But they also kind of, well, I mean, we're a living game. The game evolves, changes based on needs of the player, based on the needs of the story. So whilst we have a big story planned out, and we've got the next 5 years mapped out, things can tweak and can be changed because realistically they need to. Okay, which one of us is Clara and which one of us is Death?
Which one talks less?
In this scene, both about as much as each other. But if you've not got Death, he won't appear in the maze.
All right, are we Death then?
Okay then. I'm trying to remember the voice that he had in Missing Presumed Death. It was a kind of, hello, Mod Meadows. I assume you're here with... I need to have a kind of wibbly. Hello, Mod Meadows. I assume you're here with regards to the impending eclipse. Oh, it's me again. I'm not going to keep doing the wibbly around my face. That's just weird. It is, after all, what heralds Sliskay's summit. Since no one has really been playing his game, I suspect it won't be as simple as he first implied.
It never is. Sliskay gave me this invitation for you both.
Sorry, someone's asking where the dog is, and I'm generally wondering where he's gone off to.
He's underneath me.
He's underneath you, that's fine. Oh, he's going to sleep. Fair enough. Okay.
I'll grab him in a sec. Thank you. It is important that Ixalan and I wish to speak.
Sorry, I'm just laughing. Someone said Zaros again and said, yes, we have established that I have, like, 2 voices that you will hear.
I have about the same as well. and Seren, actually. I mean, I was quite impressed with Seren. Yes, and I wish to speak to you about. Ixalan and I have come to an agreement. Neither of us will seek the stone. We have no true need of it, and we cannot adequately protect it from all the other gods.
But with our help, you can. We have agreed to put our support and our faith in you. Don't know why it's gone a bit weird at the end.
Guthix believed in you. He trusted you with decisions of this magnitude, and who am I to act against him?
And, let's be honest, what need does the Guardian of the Underworld have for the stone?
Someone just said that you're the only one true god.
I mean, this is, of course, true.
I'll have you know that there is only one true god, and king, and his name is Stannis Baratheon.
Oh, this again.
It's you again.
Team Melisandre all the way. No,
You know.
And let's be honest, what need does... I think we've just done this one.
Oh, yeah.
You didn't click space. I have a duty, and the stone would only distract me from it.
But we have been invited to the game, and if we are to attend it, we will be by your side. Together, we might be able to stand against those who will stop at nothing to claim the stone.
So we wanted to do a thing a bit here, which is because we have the option of being very sort of standoffish with these two characters. These two characters are quite withdrawn normally. They're a bit buddy-buddy, but they're a bit sort of stood back. But we thought this time, since it's the sort of culmination of the plot, we really wanted to make them like your friends, your allies, like their team world guardian, you're their leader for this bit, which I thought would be quite a fun thing to do.
What option shall I go
Which
for?
which one would you choose? Like, are you a nice person? You are the stone shall be mine, which of course I am.
I was actually thinking that as well. I think it'd be a nice, good furnishing for my player-owned house. So we'll go with
You
that.
would take the stone of jazz and use it as a decoration in your POH.
Yeah.
Wow.
Would
Okay,
you not?
I mean, I'd abuse the power and destroy.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
I don't want the dragonkin on my back, really. So
I can just edit their configs. It's fine. Oh, it's me again.
who's you?
Be careful of the lure of power, Mod Meadows. It is a seductive song, but a deadly one. Now go, complete whatever menial tasks Liskay has set you. When the time comes, know that we are with you.
That's all the invitations given out. I should probably go back to Relomia and see what happens now. Dun dun dun.
There you go, that's all of them.
I probably could have just teleported Draenor.
I mean, you could, but it's right by it.
Yeah.
Someone's asking POH Stone of Jazz make it happen. Spoiler, can't do that now.
Oh, lag. There you go.
Oh, it's me. It seems like you've had a good old chinwag with the gods and made your decision. She's an old woman now.
So what happens now?
Now we wait for the eclipse to happen, but not here. Sliskay wants to meet us at the entrance to the heart of Killinor.
Why there? What's he planning?
What better place to discuss who will get the most powerful item in the world than at the very heart of the world? Oh, Sliskay is such a poet. She's such a fangirl.
I can just hear Shawnee in the background wetting himself with laughter.
Well, I mean, Shawnee has to come and be Armadillo again soon in a minute.
Yeah.
No.
Yes. You can.
No.
Yeah, we're taking this particular live stream very seriously. If anyone does any heavy serious law questions, then do ask them.
Oh, talking about law questions, we do actually have some from Reddit, which
Oh, okay.
we'll ask in 3 minutes at past. A nice little interlude.
Okay. Oh, it's me. I'll head over to the Heart Camp shortly. You're welcome to meet me there for the eclipse. I'm sure we can think of some way to while away the time. Oh, but you didn't hear this from me, but you probably want to be well equipped for Sliskay's game. His games are a lot of fun, but sometimes he plays rough, which is a really kind of bit of a sinister statement from Relomia there. The implications are not terribly nice.
I mean, I could have geared up, but I'm a JMod, so I'm going to
You're
use
just
my
gonna cheat.
max HP. Ooh, teleport. There you go.
And you managed to teleport directly on her face.
Yeah.
Well done.
Wow. I think that's a feat in itself.
Yep. Hello again. Are you ready for Sliskay's grand entrance? Just know that once we've started, there's no going back. Make sure you have everything you need with you, which is, of course, a bit of a fourth wall breaking. Make sure you're equipped. You're about to do a big quest. Make sure you're equipped. You're about to do a big quest. Make sure you're equipped.
Best swords or staffs. Or
So I'm just saying, someone said, what's Armadillo up to with the Bandos War Mace? He'll have put it somewhere. He won't have destroyed it, but he won't use it. It's a reference to something that he's not proud of, but he knew he had to do, which is to destroy Bandos. So he'll have stored it somewhere, not as a trophy, but as a reminder. If you know this, if you see the sort of difference between the two, he's not proud of winning it, but he is glad that he did. Make sense?
Yes.
Okay.
Can we just get some F to play respects for Bandos in the chat, please? Because I actually sided with Bandos in World Event 2. I wasn't a big fan of Armadillo.
Armadillo's great. Shush. Oh no, we haven't done that one.
We haven't done this.
Make sure you're ready for anything. Like, make sure you've got your best sword or staff or whatever. Sliskay's games can sometimes get a little boisterous.
Yes, I am prepared.
Are you actually, or are you just relying on JMod invulnerability?
Yes.
Shawnee, we need you.
Oh, I need the passcode.
Password?
Also, yeah, for the iPad, plus Armadill's back, so...
Thank you.
Are you refusing to be Armadillo? Are you going to come be
You
Armadillo?
have to be Armadillo. I cannot represent as well as you.
Okay, apparently I have to be Armadillo.
Armadillo. I should have guessed you would have been the most eager to arrive.
I merely see no point in being fashionably late. We want this over with as quickly as possible. I love the Virago arrival. Just boing.
How long did you take making this cutscene? Because I remember you, like, late night, being there for ages, tweaking it every single time. To make it perfect.
I see this in my nightmares. I mean, I see a lot of it in my nightmares, but and my dreams. But no, yeah, I spent ages doing this cutscene. Lots of little camera tweaks, lots of little fiddles here and there, timing things up, that kind of thing. It's difficult to realise when you see a cutscene in the game quite how much kind of time and effort and work goes into them. Even the ones which don't necessarily have the best camera angles have taken forever to get to that point.
Ixlarin, should you really be here? Don't you have duties to attend to? You must know the stone will never be yours.
Do not pretend to comprehend my duties, Saradomin. Your attention only focuses inwards. I serve a greater purpose. Good old Saradomin being the sort of arrogant... I was having a discussion with the players about why Saradomin is this kind of way, and it's that kind of... we're trying to get across the idea of he's not so much... I mean, he is arrogant, obviously, but the arrogance comes from... Like, he has genuinely, for thousands of years, been right. Like, he is one of the oldest gods. He has been a god for a tremendous amount of time, which means he's doing something right. He has built up humanity, he's built up the Iceni, and he's the most sort of worshipped god on Gielinor by most populations. It's changing a bit now, but... and in all that time, he has been right. So when he's come up basically saying, I know what I'm doing, I know what I'm talking about, you kind of should listen to him, because he does. I mean, sure, there's a load of arrogance in there, and sure, he's lost a huge chunk of what makes a human human, but I like the characterization of Saradomin. I've had long chats with Stu about it. It's quite interesting.
I like the direction Saradomin has taken. I liked good guy Saradomin to begin with, but obviously now, over time's evolved, and I've seen more about Saradomin. It gives him this kind of human persona, rather than...
That's what we tried. I mean, we went a bit too far making him with a couple of sort of the bad guy moments, because we were trying to bring him down from this sort of pure good character. We wanted to have shades of grey in there, but we may have gone a bit too dark, a bit too far. But everything he does, it comes from a place of, with the idea of the greater good in mind. It comes from genuinely wanting to do what he believes is best for people. Like the references we use are things like Garlandia's wings. Like, he genuinely did that because he couldn't think of any other solution. He needed something visceral, he needed something immediate, and he needed something to make the Iceni stand and fight, or they would have all been wiped out, as far as he's concerned. So it was this horrible, brutal act that he did, but it came from a place of, this must be done, and I am willing to do this in order to save everyone.
Do you think it was just to do that?
In his head, yes. From my knowledge of the background, it was the right thing to do. Maybe there might have been other options, but you know me, I'm always going to choose the cruel option anyway. But yeah, it came from a place of sense and reason. Sense and reason.
Shall we ask a few lore questions from
sure.
Reddit? So, the audio for this quest is arguably the best in game, and I love it for D&D, which leads me to ask, which soundtrack is your favourite?
We discussed this earlier. Dying Light 2, I think it's called, is one of my favourites. I like the one with, spoiler, with jazz as well. It's lovely and alien and weird. I'm a big fan of it. But I think Dying Light is too. It's just that kind of cool.
Yeah,
I really enjoy it.
It's pretty cool. What were the greater plans for the God scoreboard? It seemed irrelevant as it only really resulted in Armadillo, Saradomin and Zimzam.
Zimzam. So the God scoreboard was intended to... I mean, it's basically there to serve as a visual reminder of what's happened so far. So I know a lot of the lore players particularly will obviously be quite well aware of all the choices they've made, all the things they've happened. But not everyone is. Don't forget that some people will have come back after the world events. So the God scoreboard is to show everyone this is where the gods are, this is what's happened. You know, so the mask that fallen shows the gods that have been defeated. It was to help align people and just make it clear. That was its purpose. It wasn't intended to be this big thing beyond that. It was literally, this is what's happening, give you a bit of reward for doing it. It was also to kind of help hype build up for the Sliske series, so that we did, because we of course we did the Sliske quest before getting to Endgame. Well, that was part of what we called the Sliske quest, because we had Elegy, Kindred Spirits, Children of Mar, Endgame. Have I missed one? No, I think that's right. And the scoreboard was to update each of these things.
Okay. Biggest burning lore question I have is Elened Shard of Seren, as she's now on Tartadad. Yeah, there we go. For the non-horrible people who didn't kill her, what effect does her presence have there for the Seren-starved shapeshifters?
Ooh, that's... Ooh. That's kind of like one I'd like to explore in game, to be fair. But she will... I mean, she is an aspect of Seren, but she doesn't necessarily have the Seren, like, effect. You know, the kind of aura of love thing. So they might find a respite to their addiction whilst around her, but it won't be enough. It won't be strong enough. It's not. She's not going to go there and magically heal everyone, for example. Right. It's not good enough. There's a not unreasonable chance that some would try and eat her. Okay. Shawnee's asked why no Master Quest. I can't with this again. So we talked about this a huge amount when we were going through Endgame replay. The original plan was we were going to lock getting every interaction and every ending as part of a Master Quest requirement. But given it took quite a long while for replayability to come out, it became more of a tap project than an official major project, just because of the time we had available to it. And I was aiming it at a niche group of players. It's aimed at the lore fanatics, people who want to read all the story, want to learn all the nitty-gritty, want to find all these bits and bobs out, rather than if you put it on a Master Quest cape, it becomes a thing you have to do. And I didn't want it to be that. I didn't want people to feel they had to replay it. Okay. I wanted to feel like they could replay it and wanted to replay it.
There's more enjoyment rather than...
Yeah, it's deliberately a niche update, and that's fine.
Okay. Sliske's Endgame opens a lot of plot points which could be explored in smaller quests, such as the fate of the Barrows brothers. Can we expect to see any sequels to explore these anytime soon?
Anytime soon's a tricky word. It depends how you define soon. Certainly we will explore loads of things that happen in the thing. We're not, like, the threads aren't just going to be abandoned. That they are there for a reason. They're there to be explored. They're there to be picked up on later. Some might happen quite soon. Some may take, I don't know. They may not be resolved until much, much later.
Okay.
It depends. Will depend on where the best place to resolve it is, but we're not going to, like, immediately answer everything. I'm a big fan of leaving some plot hooks open to be explored later, so that there is that mystery, it gets people thinking what could happen, which is always cool. Okay.
Are there any plans or discussions about giving Char some more content?
I'm sure there will be in the future. There isn't anything immediately planned. Like, there's nothing we're immediately working on at the moment, but she's not forgotten about. I think people would like us to spacebar and move on past this screen, judging by the Twitch chat. But yeah, we will do stuff with Char in the future, just not anything in the immediate plan.
Okay.
But we'll do stuff in the future.
Could Nomad become the hero he was always destined to be? Now that he's finally free of Sliske.
I love the hero he was always destined to be. I mean, he literally stole souls. Very heroic, that.
I mean,
maybe.
you do it on a daily basis.
I mean, sure, I do, but I don't claim to be a hero.
Yeah, I guess.
But I'm almost certain we will do something with Nomad at some point in the future. But whether or not he's a hero is another matter.
A few more. Sliske ponders on what the Queen of Ashes might have thought of his maze. Which begs the question, what would she actually think of the maze? Is that too spoilery?
I'm trying to think what I can reasonably say. So there's loads of people saying, no more Nomad, no, leave Nomad be. If we do anything with Nomad, it won't be anytime soon, like, at all. Yeah, I don't really have an answer to the Queen of Ashes thing. She's deliberately a kind of vague character at the moment, and I'd like to leave that until we bring her in. Same goes with anyone who's going to ask about Zautak. I'm not going to give any... I'm never, to be fair, never going to give any direct Zautak clear answers, because that's never any fun.
I mean, what's the Zautak? I've never heard of him before.
Have you not?
No.
Do we want to come back to those in a bit? And
Yeah.
Spacebar, because I've seen people are getting a bit annoyed of
Sorry,
the same screen.
Sorry. What arrogance! You dare to pretend to know my will?
Gentlemen, please, there is a time and a place for this argument, and neither of them are now. Wadum. On second thought, if we're going to unleash our rage somewhere, I think the perfect target has just dropped in. We gave a good reason why Armadil really hates Zamorak, I think, in his previous dialogue. Which is Zamorak is responsible not just for the death of a bunch of Aviansi, but Armadil's husband as well. So he particularly hates the guy. Try, it's been so long since I've had the pleasure of watching an Aviansi burn. I'll kill you! I can't do that in a sensible way. Can you pass me my drink?
Yes, Armadil. Together we can destroy him once and for all. And give Sliske exactly what he wants. He wants us to fight. He wants to turn this into the next God Wars.
To destroy each other now would serve no purpose except for Sliske's amusement. Calm yourselves and be rational. Oh, Zamorak needs to pay for his crimes. Yes, Armadil, he should pay. Strike him down now, kill him. Vengeance could so easily be yours. No, enough of this baiting. Show yourself, Sliske. Let's get this over with. Oh well, if you insist. Ba-da-da-da. Welcome, welcome. Oh, it's so very good to see you all here. Well, actually, I had rather expected there to be fewer of you, but we make of the situation what we can. So this is referencing, like, he didn't get the sort of, you know, massive god wars that he wanted. There wasn't a wholesale slaughter of all the gods. Bandos died, sure, but not much else happened. So he's a bit kind of miffed. In one of the original pitches we had for Kindred Spirits, for example, he was just going to be completely taking the mick out of all the gods. He had the Barrows brothers acting out a play of just mocking each of them, and the player was forced to kind of revisit it each time before kind of breaking his way out. But we cut that because it was maybe a bit too comedy, right. And players were clearly wanting something a bit darker, so we changed it a bit. Oh, anyway. So let's give a round of special applause for those of you who actually have killed a god. You know, as you were meant to. Armadil, a round of applause to you. You were the first to really embrace this game, and the way you decapitated Bandos, exquisite. Bravo, bravo. You can tell which character I enjoy voicing. Sorry, I'm just confused by the chat. Anyway, where are we? Oh, it's me again. I didn't do it for your game, Sliske. Oh no, of course not. You murdered a god for peace, love, justice, and blah, blah, blah. The mighty Virago, who on behalf of the godless butchered the world-destroying Tusker. Good show, good show. And Harold, my good friend, so glad you could join us here. Why, it seems like only yesterday that I had you trapped in my cage. Oh, how time flies.
I'm not playing your game, Sliske.
Oh? But yet here you are. Funny how artifacts of unfathomable power seem to override principles. Oh, but you... Dear, dear Seren, you had the greatest kill of them all, didn't you? Matricide. You took the life of your very own mother, our mother, Ma, who dreamed us all into existence. Part of me hates you for that. Odd, isn't it, that I should care? That her death should matter in the slightest? And yet, the sting is there, that slight knot in my stomach, that dull pain in my chest. I mean, bravo! You have done what so many others have failed to do. You hurt me.
I can't stop this madness, Sliske. Cool off this game.
Sorry.
Let this end.
And ruin everyone's fun? How could I do such a thing? I made a bargain, and as we all know, one must stick to their bargains. Right, brother? So this is obviously a reference to Children of Ma, and the bargain that he struck with Zaros. Sliske, again, indicating that he knows stuff that perhaps he shouldn't. Oh, it's me again. Enough showboating, Sliske. We are all here. Get on with your charade. Ah! Oh, empty lord, that's just the thing. We're not all here. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to introduce our latest contestants. The Dragonkin.
What madness is this?
So this is your plan, to attack us all with Dragonkin again? Come now, don't be so rude to our guests. Why, Kerapak here has shown nothing but the absolute pinnacle of good manners. Do you vouch or don't you trust Kerapak?
Ooh, well, what should I do?
Only you can answer that.
I mean, I can vouch for him, I guess. But I don't actually trust him, so I don't trust him.
You disappoint me, World Guardian. I can't do a Kerapak voice. I have done nothing but be honest with you. There you go. Kerapak sounds disturbingly similar to both Samrak and Zaros. Oh, don't mind them, my pigmentally challenged friend. The World Guardian is just being a grumpy guts again. You're right there, Tiny Wolf. Were you woken up by my silly voice? See, the Dragonkin have every right to be here. They, after all, did kill a god, and killing a god gets you an invite to the game.
This is outrageous. I will not stand for this.
Then leave. No one is forcing you to be here. If you don't want the stone, then you can just totter off home and be free of this indignity. No? No one? I didn't think so. Let's cut this bluster right now, shall we? None of you are going to leave. I am. What has the mighty Brassica Prime for such shiny baubles? I missed the word need, but never mind. Does not deliciousness itself flow through these very leaves? Am I not nutrition incarnate? The cabbage of 1,000 truths is like the carrot on the hook, dangling over the cooking pot. You boil yourselves alive to reach it, only to find that it is withered and tasteless, leaving only a bitter regret on your palate. Yeah, what the Leafy said. All this fighting and backstabbing. There's so much more we could be doing instead. I'm making a mockery of Marimba because it was voiced by my good friend.
And you
And
voiced...
who voiced Brassica?
Yeah.
I voiced Brassica Prime, as you can probably tell. I wasn't that high-pitched when I voiced it, but that was digital editing, but I think I've done a good job. I have, however, destroyed my throat, so bear with me.
This
Well,
is you
you
again.
keep your stupid stone. I'm going to go and play more amusing games.
So what do you think Rimbo got up to when she went to go play more amusing games?
I mean, she got absolutely hammered, and probably played the game of eating all the bananas whilst vomiting into a bucket, and then drinking some more to wash away the terrible flavour of vomit.
Sounds like my kind of god.
Oh dear, worry. Well, okay, that was right. Well, none of the rest of you are going anywhere, I assume, so let's discuss what's going to happen next. Below you sits the aptly named Heart of Gillinor, a focus for the vast anima mundi of this remarkable planet. From its walls I have carved a great labyrinth, and at the end of the labyrinth sits the stone. Get through the labyrinth fastest, claim the stone. So simple, even the World Guardian could do it. Speaking of which, it's time for the World Guardian to pick a side. No more sitting on the fence. Who do you want to claim the stone?
So who do you want me to claim the stone? The first person I see in the chat, then I will side with them.
There might be a...
Oh, we might have a chat delay though.
Oh
Is there
no,
a
you
chat?
don't have the right unlocks, I assume. I was going to say...
Translated by about 15-20 seconds.
Armadale. Okay, so Armadale was the first person. I stand with Armadale. He alone seeks the best course of action for the stone.
Proof that cooperation and understanding are the path to the brightest future. Oh, spare me the prattle. You're still going to murder one another to get the stone. Well, now the World Guardian has chosen a side, it's time to give them their prize. Behold! You thought he was lost, you thought he was gone, but here he is. Nomad, the World Guardian. That's right. After I siphoned some of your pesky soul away from you, Mott Meadows, I got a little something extra. A spark of what makes you special. Just enough to let Nomad here share some of your protection from godly powers. Not enough to save him from becoming my undying servant, though. And he's all yours, World Guardian. Kill him. He's powerful enough that I'll count him as a god kill for your chosen side. Will this abomination never die? Not until I am bored of him.
This is a vile perversion of nature, Sliskay.
This is not justice. He should face trial for his crimes, not be corrupted into this thing. Oh, silence your prattling, Mott Meadows. I give you this gift to sacrifice to your cause. Make it a clean kill. Or make him suffer. It's totally your call. I'll let you in on a little secret.
Ooh.
He feels all of it. Every scratch, every bruise, and every swing of the sword. Enjoy it. My gift to you. And then, not the world's most difficult Nomad boss fight, which was of course deliberate. He's making a mockery of Nomad. He's making a mockery of the player. He is mocking everyone. So you're just going to sit here on invulnerability and wail on him, yep.
Just quickly, do you want to answer another question?
Someone's saying so many spoilers. Like, you're on a stream playthrough of the quest. The replay of a quest that was out over a year ago. There are going to be spoilers.
Would you have preferred to have done more world events before this quest was released?
So if I had infinite development time and infinite chance to do this, then sure. I would have liked to have done some more things. There's some stories I would like to have filled out. There's some... I mean, I'd have liked to have revealed stuff about each of the gods, brought them in earlier. Like, I'd have liked to have brought more in with Armadil earlier. Like, Armadil's a bit of a... one of the reasons there's so much Armadil sort of stuff and new reveals with Armadil is purely because we haven't done much with him beforehand. Yeah. So he's a bit of an unknown. So I'd have liked to have given him a quest or a world event or something where we can reveal more of that. We can let him be a bit more known. I'd have liked to have had... Mod Wolf is trying to quietly sneak in and failing miserably and pulled the strangest facial expression. Where was I? So yeah, if I had all the development time and all the resources in the world, then I would have probably wanted to put a couple more extra stories in. But I should preface that with, I want to put stories in everywhere. Like, there are so many quests, so many things that I want to do anyway, that it's a kind of a daft question, because, you know, I'm always going to say, I would like to have done more. I would like to have done more. Like, you know, in an ideal world, I've had 2 years to work on Endgame and made it absolutely perfect, but that's not realistic. That's just not something that we can sensibly do.
And how long did you work on Endgame for?
We have... what was it? 3 months? Maybe a bit longer? Someone's stealing your dog, apparently. Okay. Where was I? Yeah, so yeah, we had about 3 months of development time, maybe a bit longer. We had some earlier design time as well. We did some work beforehand. But we rolled in quite quickly from Kindred Spirits into Endgame.
So, Rocco's nipping off. So, everyone say goodbye to Tiny Wood.
Goodbye, little dog. Goodbye, little dog. This is where everyone just leaves now.
Yeah.
Right.
Sorry he's not been on as much as we were hoping to. It's kind of proving difficult to get him running around while we're trying to play.
He was sleeping a lot as well, so...
Yeah.
Bye, tiny dog. Okay. Bravo, bravo, an excellent display of mindless violence. Just what I like to see. And, as promised, that's an extra kill for your cause. Which leads us... Oh, sorry, too much coke. Which leads us into the game proper. Each of you knows your score, and your score is your advantage in this labyrinth. The higher your score, the better your head start will be into the labyrinth, and the greater your chance of getting the stone. Oh, but don't fret if your score is shameful. There's still all to play for, and you have every chance of surpassing the other gods. There's a big, swirly portal in the labyrinth that is your goal. The first person to get through this portal gets to deal a significant blow to a contestant of their choice. Be the first through the portal, and I will grant you the power to eject the entourage of any god. That's right, they will have to traverse the labyrinth alone. So it really is all to play for.
Who would you kick out?
I would kick out Icthlarin.
Okay.
Because that's the reason why it's an option in here. So if you bring Icthlarin along with you, because Icthlarin has been my ally, he's been my friend all the way through it. Yeah. Icthlarin is suffering in the labyrinth. He is losing his sentience. He's losing his memories. And it's a horrible, horrible experience for him. Like it's quite cruel. If you keep talking to Icthlarin throughout the maze, he will get progressively less able to give you answers. More into a and so I would remove him because Icthlarin has been an ally, been a good friend, and by removing him gets to be himself again. Yeah. And frankly, I can take on the other gods because I'm a JMod and I can edit their configs.
So it's not because you're actually a nice guy then?
I mean, so as a writer, when you're writing these characters, there are certain characters you get attached to, and that you do kind of sort of care about, which normally means I punish them more. And Icthlarin is one of the ones like I enjoyed writing him. I enjoyed seeing him through the other series become more of an ally, becoming more of a friend, and so he became a character I liked, which is why I went, oh, this would be cruel, wouldn't it? Yes. Which is why he started to have that kind of suffering. I like the other gods, but I find that there are other ways to punish them.
Yeah.
And which tells you what a terrible person I am, because it's that whole kind of thing of, and to be fair, most writers will tell you this, which is when you have characters that you like and characters that you care about, you do horrible things to them, you punish them, because that's where story comes from. Story comes from conflict. It comes from this sort of suffering kind of thing. There are certain ways you can do it, but yeah, that's why I picked on Icthlarin. That's why I would remove him, because I feel a bit guilty about what I did. When Mod Raven laughs, characters die. Not untrue.
True.
100% true.
Ready, set, to go! Okay, so now we should be in the Lore Maze version, unless something's gone horribly wrong. Oh yes, just one more thing. Those with divine natures may be feeling a little odd right about now. I have removed your divine nature from you. I have deprived you of your power. In short, I have brought you all down to the same level. Each of you is now no more powerful than the lowliest of world guardians. It should be a novel experience for you. But enough of this idle chatter. There is a stone waiting to be claimed. Go get it. So that's Sliske mocking the player at every possible turn. He's weakened them to the lowliest of World Guardian levels, so they're only as powerful as you. They're probably arguably a little bit more powerful, but still. What time is it? Ooh, okay.
6.
So, there is no way you can get lost in this maze, because this is a interaction maze, which literally takes you from interaction room to interaction room. You can set this up so on the interface there's an option of all the interactions that you can do. If you choose them, you have to set them all. You can't leave any as default, and you can't make any duplicates. But if you set them all, you choose the interactions you encounter. Unless you log out midway through, there's no way we could stop that. So you can choose which ones you get. But because you didn't do that, you get these are the choices that you would have got from your choices that you have set up.
Okay.
Which instantly looks like you did let Death kill Nomad on this character.
No, Icthlarin killed.
Okay, because it looks like Death's in this one, so it might have changed something. Or it might be a JMod account weirdness. Oh.
Nice, JD.
Sorry.
Mod JD is causing mass destruction as we're going.
As always.
So, you seem different, Icthlarin. Are you okay?
No, I cannot explain it, but no, I'm not okay. I feel as though I'm slipping away. My mind has become foggy, muddled. You smell a friend.
What?
I'm sorry that I just... What's happening to me? Oh, this is wonderful. I wondered what you would be like with your divinity curved, but this is glorious. I can't do a growl. He's growling.
What have you done to him, Sliske?
Does no one listen to me? Honestly, it's like some people just skip over all of my important announcements. Maybe in a slight dig at spacebarras. I explained this earlier. I've removed some of the divine nature of every contestant, including Icthlarin here. Yeah. Now I get to watch each of them grapple with returning to what they were before they ascended. This is Icthlarin's struggle. Growling noise. Put me back and save you from this delightful torment. Why in all creation would I do such a thing? This is delightful.
Stop this, Sliske.
Stop this? Why would I do that? To help him? To ease his suffering? You've met me right. I think we've long since established that's not the way I work. It's going to be so much fun watching you drift more and more away, Icthlarin. To see you so humbled, so easily. Truly my finest work. Sliske, end this!
I don't think he's listening anymore. It's time I moved on.
Mod Meadows, don't leave me here alone. May I come with you? So you missed a dialogue option, actually. If you'd gone a different path previously, there are some non-canon responses you can give. Okay. A good number of which were written about 2 a.m. in the morning when I was a little bit insane. But you can get some different things. So there's one option there which is like you can Yeah, there you go. Pathfinder 667 has spotted it. Where you can break the fourth wall a bit, and there's a couple of them like that.
That's really cool.
Right, can I interject?
Yeah.
Because I need to show you guys how to do something, because unfortunately I need to get ready to head home, because I need to go home to my other half. When you guys are done, you just need to click on this, and then click on that to end the stream there on Twitch, and then to end it on YouTube, and then that's it.
Okay.
And the only other thing, just to note for everyone who's watching, we're going to fire RuneScape tonight, because we can't guarantee when the stream's going to end.
Okay.
So we'll just keep an eye out for when the stream ends, and then we'll fire out the RuneScape from there.
Okay.
Just as a heads up.
I hope everyone heard that.
Yes.
Yes,
How
I'll
much
leave it up on
longer
this.
do
I'll
you-
leave it up on the screen as well, just for you guys.
I can stay a bit, but I won't keep people too long.
Okay.
But yeah, just that's how you end the stream, just in case
Yep.
you leave the stream on throughout the night, which obviously we don't want to do.
So what we might do is, rather than voicing literally everything that's happening, we'll
Click through it and just.
we'll skip through and we'll go with some of the interesting ones, just so that people aren't staying around here forever. Okay.
Cool.
I always say heal because I'm a horrible person.
And he's not got that far gone yet.
So you probably won't have him diminish too much in a normal maze because it's reasonably quick. So I'm now intrigued to see which combinations you get. I want to see which choices you had. I'm guessing it'll be a Zamaraki one next. Oh no, it's death.
Oh.
So yeah, so either I must have been a JMod account thing. I really like the death one. This is one that Mod Osborne wrote. That has some. I'm always mean to Ixlaran here because it's not just too funny not to.
Sorry.
So yeah, press through to get
Which
to
one?
the interesting ones. Any of them. You've chosen that one. Yep.
He's a good boy, isn't he?
Yep. He remembers everything you say. But so yeah, skip on through. And I like that
Comment on the
death
type
couldn't
bit.
possibly resist a terrible pun. So yeah, so what Death is saying here is that he's got because he's Death, he's the the harbinger of souls. He is aware of when people are going to die and get glimpses of it. And so now that the gods are a bit more mortal, he has a link to each of them, which should be interesting for some of the characters, given the nature of what's going on in the maze as well. Because you should be aware not all the gods are actually diminished. So it should be an interesting discussion for some people. So you can ask about any of the gods in the maze.
Who do you want to go for?
I'm trying to remember my favourite. I mean, each of them. So I can remember most of them. Zaros is a kind of vague thing of static, calm, and burning. Sarah and his beautiful song. Saradome and his the clashing of swords.
He was in battle or something, isn't it?
Well, here's the
Implied.
clashing of swords.
Yeah.
It's all deliberately vague. It's all part of a. They're all linked in our knowledge of things, but Armadil gets the sensation of falling, but it's not a sad thing. It's a almost blissful. Ixlarin has a horrible, agonising death, which is my favourite. Actually, Ixlarin's my favourite for one very simple bit. So yeah, he dies. His end is painful, the rending of teeth, the taste of blood. He dies fearing for others. That is what truly kills him. So it's the idea of a noble, brave death. But this line I loved. This is from Mod Osborne, and I absolutely adore it. It really kind of brings the character of death out. Shows you what a person is, and it shows you that kind of friendship that he has with them. So yeah, he's refusing to let that happen. He will break his oath to do it, which I really liked.
That's really admirable.
Yeah, I thought it was a really fun bit. Someone's asking why you're losing HP. I don't quite get it.
I'm not.
What's this one? Zamorak and Virago. Yay. This one, I'm trying to remember. This one was written by. Who wrote this one? I think this one was Cuppa, actually.
Okay.
I might be wrong. This might be Mod Ryan. We got a few people in to help with writing some of the scenes. So a good chunk of them are mine. There's a good chunk of Mod Jack in there. There's a good chunk of Mod Osborne in there. But we got a couple of extra people when they come in and help. Mod Ryan wrote Virago Alone, I believe it is. No, this wasn't Cuppa. I don't remember who wrote this. It might even have been me. They all kind of blend into one another. But what I like here is just Virago just not bowing to any of the gods at all. Like, he's just, you know, going on with it.
He thinks he can beat Slisco.
He does. I mean,
Could he?
It's Virago.
Oh, I mean, I guess he could. Maybe.
Probably not, in my opinion. There's a reason why the player can beat him.
Okay.
And Virago probably wouldn't have that bonus.
Yeah.
So as you can see with the interaction maze, it's literally walk from room to room to room. There's no maze to solve. You can get through it quite quickly. You still get the XP lamp and outfit if you do the interaction maze. So this is Seren Alone. Some people were saying they couldn't get this to work, but it's working. There's obviously a different one if her entourage has been removed. When it says God Alone, it's God with their entourage, or some of them. So here's one of the ones that has an additional option if you go through. So you've got they're asking what is causing the gods to be diminished, to lose their power. And so she's the only one that's actually going, what is behind it, what's doing it. And so you have a number of options to do it, but there's a new option because, of course, the player has already played this. Like in a non-canon playthrough, they know what the option is. They know what's causing this. So we've brought that in directly. It's in the non-canon playthrough because, canonically, the player wouldn't know. Oh, yours hasn't appeared. Oh, right, you're suffering from JMod weirdness. That's what's going on here.
Right, okay.
So this would all make more sense if it wasn't sort of a JMod account. But you could ask Jazz is an option.
Okay.
And so Jazz, like, they wonder why you know about this, but it does make sense. It is the only logical answer.
Yeah.
Because, of course, it is. It is the solution. It is what happened.
I'll go with Gothics.
I liked that one because it was just like, if it is Gothics, it's actually quite horrible.
Yeah.
Something
Something that you would have done, though.
Oh, of course, it's something I would have done, but they generally stop me from being too mean to some characters. Like Mod Osborne won't let me torture people or kill children. It's terribly annoying. This is a genuine conversation that we've had. Like, he stopped Mod Wilson and I from actually making you like having people kill children. Apparently, that's bad. They were goblins in our defence. But again, that was to torture a much beloved character. So this is Zamorak and Seren. Unsurprisingly, Zamorak's not terribly happy with Seren. You can have various discussions with them. Be relatively quick through it because they want to think it. Yeah. So you can play all of these if you actually want to see them. You can choose the specific interactions you can choose the encounters you go in, you can choose what order they appear, you can choose when they appear. There's a little indicator of when you're in the second maze so that you can choose who was their entourage removed. So if you want to set a particular thing, like if you want Armadill's feather, then you put him in the second half, boot him out, and you'll chat to him. Sarah and Saradomian being relatively reasonable. Except for Ziliana, who wants to attack Seren, which would be quite funny.
Which one do you want me to do?
I mean, either work. They're both pretty reasonable ones. If you get them to talk, then she basically tries to convince Saradomian that he should leave.
Right.
And you can make it a very reasonable discussion, but he won't, obviously, because he wants to see it.
Do you think Seren and Saradomian would be friends in other circumstances?
Friends, probably not. Both of them very much have their own thing in mind. Oh, you've got Saradomin alone. So this is... You can ask Saradomin any question, and of course everyone answers that one.
Why is your skin blue?
Yeah. So you can learn some of his backstory, his history, or you can ask him why he's blue, and he's blue because he is. You know, it's yeah. Fairly straightforward, really. Aren't you going back on yourself?
I am going back on myself.
When I said you couldn't get lost in this maze, apparently you can.
Faceless scare.
Oh, here we go. Saradomin versus Zamorak. So this is one of the first interactions that I wrote, which is one of the reasons why there's a number of possible outcomes of this one. So you can start a fight between them, you can cause them to make peace, you can have one of them leave and come back. There's also variations on if one of their entourage is removed or not, you can different outcomes. There's a number of different combinations of what can happen in all of this one.
Which way did we go?
Yeah. So you're nearly at the end, I believe. Yeah, there you
Ooh,
go.
Big swirly portal.
So you can choose which of the gods you kick out. Stream, who are we kicking out?
Where do we kick out? Is it?
Oh, it's... You have... Oh, you've got some sort of weird bug thing going on with being a JMod.
Okay, so JMod things.
It's this particular account. I knew we should have used my test one.
Sorry.
I wonder if this is going to break the end bit as well. You've spread it over 2 screens now.
What's happened?
Basically, Mod Meadows is breaking everything.
No. It's because we don't have Shawnee here to fix it.
What have you done?
I have no clue. It's just gone spread over 2 different... Hey, there we go.
Oh, dear.
So this is Saradomin and Armadillo?
Yep. So with Saradomin and Armadillo, we did a different one. We presented them with the options of finding a dragonkin. We wanted to see, like, play on the idea of which one. So Saradomin very much has the idea of kill it, because it will be a problem. It is a danger. It will hurt someone. It will cause these problems because all the evidence in the past says these things are bad. Whereas Armadillo's insisting, no, we cage it, or we give it a chance. You know, he doesn't want to execute unless he absolutely has no choice.
Should we cage him?
Sure. There's also, you can sit around with the caged dragonkin afterwards for ages, and he has a bunch of extra dialogue. It just sort of says over the top of him.
Are the dragonkin weakened in the maze?
No.
No. Didn't think they would be.
I mean, they're not really divine either, so that will be why. But yeah, if you just wait around, he'll have a little bit of conversation will pop up over his head. It takes a while, but it just does random things. But we'll be here all day if we're waiting around for it. But yeah, he has a bunch of random stuff he says.
Oh, is this the Armadillo Feather one?
You won't get the feather because he's got his entourage.
Ah.
So the feather's an interesting one because this is Mod Osborne wrote this. And a load of people, you're in the middle of a place you got to be. A bunch of people were telling me, "Oh, it's terribly unfair. Like I'm an Armadillo supporter, I should get the feather." And I nearly put the feather in for both sides, but the feather actually represents something different. It represents Armadillo at his lowest. It is Armadillo when he's like depressed, defeated, down, and that's why he removes the feather. That's why he hurts himself. It's. I didn't want to repeat that for
Followers.
for people who are actually fans of it. So you can still get the feather in a replay. You just rig it, set up. You can still get it as a non-canon, but canonically, it didn't really make sense for that to be a thing for the Armadillion players to see. Okay, some people talking about loot boxes will reiterate what Shawnee said. This will be switched on tonight, but it won't be happening at the end of the stream.
Yeah,
It's
so
happening...
it won't be happening instantly at the end of the stream. At some point later tonight, it will be activated. So you should get them all by tomorrow at the latest. So it's Armadillo and Dragonkin talking at the moment, and they seem to be taunting him.
Yes, so he's trying to do the whole kind of we can make peace, we can talk, this and the other, but the Dragonkin don't believe it. So they mock him, they hurt him, you know, they...
You smell like roast chicken.
Yes, of course, you can be cruel. But this was wanted to give a bit of character to Armadillo, which is that he would still try.
Do you think that's his biggest downfall?
Yes. Armadillo's biggest weakness is he's naive and he wants to see the best in people, which isn't, you know, always a good thing. I quite liked the Armadillo one, the Armadillo and Virago, which is basically Virago telling Armadillo that he's terrible. Because, I mean, Armadillo used a weapon that took, like Anima, he took like the power of the world and he weaponized it. Out of all the things he'd done, the damage he's done, he like tore a chunk out of the world. Someone's asking what kind of a bird Armadillo is. He's a phoenix. This isn't Armadillo's mortal form. This is the form Armadillo has adopted. Like when everyone ascends, they can change their form and they take a form that is representative of their nature. So when Armadillo would first have been of Gilnor, he won't have looked like this. This form, this imagery was done as a to show that he'd been reborn, been renewed. So he came back as a phoenix.
So with Zaros, when he was like first created, would he have just been that purple
crystalline thing?
ball?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, he's him and Saren are both crystalline things. I think he had probably a humanoid form, but he would have been crystal.
So in I've completely forgotten the quest where you bring him back to his form. Fate of the Gods.
Yep.
And he's just the floating purple ball that looks like the twitching orb.
Yeah.
Is that his natural form, or is that his...
That's his diminished form.
Okay.
So he was obviously terribly injured by Zamorak's betrayal. So that's a kind of incorporeal, weakened version of himself. His true form will have been the sort of crystal human, and then he puts their armour on because, you know, he wants to look badass.
Do you ever think we'll see a quest with him without the armour on, and he'll be back in his like naked form?
Maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, I would never say never, but it's not something he's going to do. And we're not going to do a quest where he's going, "Hey, World Guardian, welcome to my house. I'm going to lounge around in my, you know, Zerosian sort of, well, undies." That's never going to be a thing, because he's. I mean, part of Zaroff is this image. He projects power in every possible way, and that arm. I mean, look at the armor. That projects power. That is saying, I have control. He's got these clamps over him that their hands, if you do it, these are there. They are locked down. Like, this is, I am in control. I am strong. I have these things. Everything about him is power.
Okay.
And control. But. Zaros bullying Zamorak about the deal he struck. Okay, so...
Ooh. The stairs.
There you go. Okay, good. At least this one worked. So you can choose which of the ones you race against. So, there are only 3 gods that you can race at the end. We were going to do one for all of them, but it didn't actually make sense, and the narrative is just better for one of the god ones.
It would have been amusing watching Virago run across the platform.
I mean, that was also the part of the problem of trying to fit some of the gods on, whereas we could do these ones. Each of them is good. Most players will have seen Armadillo and Saradomin, so I'd probably pick Zamorak.
Okay.
Now let's see if you can outrun.
Oh, do you want me to actually run it?
You can cheat. It depends when you want to. I personally think the outcome is better if a god wins.
Ah, okay.
I just prefer the dialogue, but oh, actually no, skip through because there's new options.
Ah, okay.
So yeah, just run through. Behold a JMod cheating. I mean, what have you done? Okay, that's fine. So you've claimed the stone. Whichever one you would have said. Yes, the stone's mine.
God should fear me, to be fair.
So yes, I'm just trying to... So, more. I will give it 2. So you now have the option of saying who you will give it to. Be careful choosing more, because once you've... So, disclaimer to the players. So we added in the option of giving this to saying you're going to give it to a god, and this is available in canon. Because we couldn't rewrite all of dialogue, if your choice is on the list there, click it. Don't go through more and expect to go back, because we couldn't cycle back.
Okay.
But you can do those ones, or there's another set of options, which you may as well do.
Who do you want to give it to?
I mean, one of the options on Canon playthrough is to give it to me.
Okay.
Well, if you have the Ravensworn title. But if you click 5...
okay, so Seren seems to be biggest in the chat. So
okay.
We'll go with Seren.
Oh, interesting choice. See what a horrible mistake she can make with such power at her disposal. Perhaps she'll accidentally enslave humans too, or maybe she'll find a way to get the Aviansi to eat each other. Or perhaps she'll accidentally explode herself again. And then these things come in. So you can do one for each of the gods. There's a bit of dialogue for each of them. There's also, you can give it to... I know you can give it to Brassica, Marimbo, Icthararin, maybe Amaskut? I don't remember if I did Amaskut. Or you can just kind of go, I don't know. And Sliske sort of mocks you.
Sliske is going on about how he wants to wake them all up.
So this is like... One of the motivations that Sliske has here, and this is the thing that some players have been sort of confused by, is that the idea that, you know, he's bored. It's deeper than just, lol, I want to think, lol, lol, lol. This is, like, Sliske is old. Like the Magrat, he is thousands of years old. And through that he has seen, if you look at the history of RuneScape, if you look at the history of Gillen, or if you look at the history of these things, it's repeating cycles. Yeah. Like, I mean, this is the same of Earth, this is the same of our world, everything's repeating in cycles. Now imagine if you've sat through those cycles again and again. Like, you've seen it again, you've seen it again, you've seen it again, you know exactly how it's going to play out again and again and again and again and again and again and again. And it's more than just boring, it's maddening. Like, you are stuck in this cycle, you are trapped in this cycle. You can't get out. You need to do something to shake it up. You need to make the world change. So that's what this is doing. By pushing for the Elder Gods to wake up, by causing this trouble, causing this fight, you will make the world change. You will get some difference. You will be able to snap out of this cycle. I realise it maybe not come across as well as I would have liked, but it's... I was playing on the idea of this sort of... a lot of this is with Sliske. Like, if you look at some of the stuff you learn in Kindred Spirits about Sliske's motivations, one of the things he's doing, like, Sliske is very fond of the player, working with the player for a very specific reason. If you look at Kindred Spirits, it's all about him trying to mould the player's soul. He's trying to basically make the player's soul compatible with him. He's turning you into a donor, a transplant donor, right, because he wants a soul, because he is denied one.
Yeah.
A Magrat does not have a soul, which means, crucially, a Magrat does not have an afterlife. So a Magrat will end. Like, this is the only life he has, and it's a life where he's trapped. He's trapped in this cycle, this loop. And so he's trying to find ways to break out. So first of all, he tried to get the player's soul, and if he'd achieved that, obviously the game would be a bit rubbish, but if he'd achieved that, then this whole world event thing might not have happened. He might have just let it fade away, do something different. He probably wouldn't. He'd have probably rigged it to explode or something. But because he couldn't do that, he needed to pick a different option. And so, I mean, also, I should also clarify, Sliske never has just one scheme. There's other schemes hidden in this. But this is some of the motivation behind it. Just looking at the time, do you want to just skip through the fight?
Yeah. Integral darts.
Well, I mean, you can just hit skip. Like, it doesn't. You don't need the reward.
Okay.
So, yes, this is the Dragonkin thing. You can see everything he's got in place. You can see he's got the mirror. He's got all the energy of the heart. He's got the link directly to the Stone of Jazz, which you helped him find before on One of a Kind. All of this funneled through. Big kaboom. There's actually some post-quest dialogue with Nazanadra that should clarify this a bit more. I love that scene.
What do you think? No, skip the fight.
So we're going to skip the fight so the stream doesn't go on forever.
What do you think Zaros and Seren's opinion was when they destroyed the stone?
I mean, neither of them saw it coming. Neither of them expected it. Neither of them are terribly... I love this cutscene. Some brilliant animation from our animators here. It's like, it's not quick, it's not simple. I love this bit with it slamming it down, but oh no, Slisky's caught it, and then thwack. Beats the player up. I love the sort of attack he has where he moves and his shadow follows quickly with him. That kind of mocking, I've got this power, I'm going to really beat the hell out of you now. It's a brilliant cutscene, I love it.
It looks phenomenal.
And of course I love this bit. Just that kind of very Sliske, like you've stabbed him with a staff of Armadil and he's laughing, and then he stabs you with the other end and you see this kind of ripple of energy, and then he laughs some more and then he dies, which is so very, very Sliske. Obviously, you know, there's reasons behind that, which will be explored in future content.
At this point, would a strange power have gone around Gillinor?
No.
No.
There is insufficient energy in what happened there to have caused that.
Oh.
Because reasons.
So major spoilers here.
Yeah, so if you've not done the quest and don't know of it, then look away now. I've spoiled all of it, but I love these things.
Yeah, that's so cool.
So these, we really wanted to get across this alien idea. So we've known from the previous canon that the Elder Gods cannot speak with you directly, because if they did, you would explode. Because this raw power in their voice would obliterate you. So what they do, just to demonstrate the alien, ridiculously powerful nature of these things, is Jazz creates one of these voices, which is a living, sentient being that utters a single word and then it dies. That each one of those is that's a demonstration of her power, a demonstration of how powerful the Elder Gods are, that they can just do this and kind of just will you dead. I don't quite know what's happened to the side of her face. It appears a texture thing is not loading on yours for some weird reason, or a lighting effect maybe. This is Zaros getting really kind of frustrated because he's brought himself to the Elder Gods and he's going, look at everything I've done, and they just don't care. Because as powerful as Zaros is, as near to him as he thinks he is, they're orders of magnitude different. Like, he is not an Elder God. He wants to be, he thinks he should be, but he is not one of them. And the things that he has done, the powers that he has demonstrated, are not on the same scale. Like, she is just so much stronger than him, and to her, he is only slightly more interesting than the player is. Like, both of them are insects as far as she's concerned. Yeah. You're going to go with the insult Jazz and get obliterated.
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to end the stream by you killing yourself by the looks of it. There you go. You've been killed by Jazz. Which seems like a good a place as any to end the stream, really. Although interesting with that point, in the original thing we were working on, we tried to rig up what we called the strange facepalm.
Okay.
So there's the strange power. You float and go, whoa, and everyone turns and looks. The first Iron Man to deliberately choose that, hardcore Iron Man, I should point out, and be killed, was going to cause all the players to turn face towards the heart and do the facepalm mode. But we couldn't get it to work.
No.
We just didn't have the time. We had to let it go because we had other more pressing issues to deal with. But it would have been the best thing because, of course,
amazing.
hardcore Iron Man did. Someone chose to be killed by Jazz. It was like, really?
I mean, didn't see it coming. I thought that she would be nice and kind to me. 'Cause...
No. I mean, so Jazz was quite hard to write. That is probably the third iteration of Jazz dialogue. Jazzalogue. That sounds weird. Because getting her voice right was really tricky. Because I wanted to try and write something alien. Which is why Jazz talks in very short sentences.
Yeah.
To the point. Nothing is drawn out, nothing is elaborate, which also contradicts a lot of the quest because of course everyone knows I'm a flowery writer and I'll write 1,000 words when 10 would do, and so writing Jazz like that was very to the point, very sort of strict, serious, because it makes everything a bit disjointed. It feels odd.
Yeah.
Like something that big and that powerful responding with such small interactions, it shows you that kind of disconnect. It makes her a bit more alien, which is what we were kind of going for. And the voices really sold it. We had a bunch of designs of the voices. One of the original ones was it was going to be like a sound wave.
Cool.
So like sand that wove around, but all the sand had voices. But we couldn't get it to look right. It looked a bit weird. Or we did have some hilarious test configs where we got the size a little bit wrong. And it just filled the entire of the map square with this enormous pile of sand. It's like, oops.
Oh dear.
But yeah.
Just quickly, before we end,
mhm.
what kind of chats do you imagine Sliske and Jazz would have had together?
So they wouldn't have had conversations, not really. So one of the things about this is with like Sliske is the agent of Jazz, but it's not like he's his willing servant. Like he actually plays Jazz. Like he tricks Jazz, he gets Jazz, he orchestrates Jazz to do things because he is on a different level to her. Like she is so far above him in terms of everything, a faux bar of mortal life, that she cannot distinguish between the player, the gods, and raccoons that you capture with box traps.
Is there a distinguish between World Guardian and Zaros, for example? Because obviously she can see that
She can see him. She recognises a bit of her sister in him, and both he and Seren would be more powerful. So that is recognisable. She has a bit of dialogue about Seren, where she recognises that Seren could be more.
Yeah.
Zaros also could be more, but Zaros is there going, I am more, I am better. Whereas Seren is kind of like, I won't do these things, I'll be a bit more withdrawn. It's like, and so Jazz can recognise that. But the conversations you'd have had with Sliske would have been, this intrigues me, solve it.
Right.
Get me the information, which is how Sliske got like the staff and the stone and kind of things, because he went, oh, if I'm going to get all the gods talking so you can find out what they're like, I'm going to need these things. I need this staff and this stone, because to Jazz they're meaningless, because she's like, well, I can control the power. You can't use these against me because I made them. And she can just sort of wish him out of existence if she wanted. So you can't have those conversations. It doesn't work like that. So it's it would have been subtle, and he would have just been kind of going, oh no, all this big summit so they can come talk to you. Yep, it's not all that I'm getting to murder one another. Nope.
Awesome. Cool. Right.
Cool.
Do you want to end it there?
It's 20 to 7. That probably seems like a sensible way to end.
Yes. So
we apologise for not voicing through the whole entire thing, because we realised we didn't have time.
no, and we probably didn't have enough people. But I hope you enjoyed my Seren voice. Cool.
We're both on Twitter if you want to follow us.
Yes.
You're-
At Jagex Meadows
And at JagXRaven. Feel free to chat to us if you've got any questions. We'll try and answer them.
Yes.
We're fairly regular on the forums and Reddit as well. So
yeah. Shout us if you've got any questions, and we'll try and get them answered.
Yep.
So, thank
Cool.
you so much, everyone.
Farewell, guys.
Take care.